Welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and a continuation of my Cleve-Berg Napoleonic project. So I've done a couple of battalions of infantry, I've done some skirmishers as well, so it's time to break it up a bit before I embark on another infantry battalion. I'm going to do a battery. So we've got here, this is a Perry battery. This is Perry Metals, I think it's 8-pounder French foot artillery. You see, I've made it up and stuck it on one of these bases from Charlie Foxtrot models, and it's a very straightforward model. The wheels come separately, the barrel's separate. They glue together really nice. A bit of trimming off of the spokes, well, the bit of, I don't know what you call it, but the bit of the cross beam that goes into the wheel had to be trimmed off a bit and just sort of prepped a bit better, but otherwise went together really smartly. I quite like the gun. I think it's a really good gun. Now technically the Berg had a 6-pounder, but I'm not going to complain about that. It's just nice. And the crew, they're all metal. Love this guy with his tunic open. He's got his rammer ready to go. There's the sergeant of the gun, his arms behind his back. Like the touch paper, guy's just about, I love he's got his helmet, his shako at a jaunty angle. And there's the guy ready to roll it back into place. So I think we'll place them like that. Anyway, the beauty of these Charlie Foxtrot bases is you've got the ready-made holes. Obviously there's 5, but whatever. I'll get maybe some pile of musket balls and put it there when I do this diorama, or mini diorama. So I'm setting up so I can play with sharp practice and also black powder. Black powder, it's a little bit big, but again, I'm not going to complain about that. The functionality I want of being able to play with both is going to be better for me. The crews are actually very straightforward for these. They're just solid blue. That's what the Berg artillery had, solid blue uniforms. So I'll work on those next. And so for the first time I think I've ever done this in all my years of wargaming, I went for a gun limber, just because I thought, you know what, I want this army to look fun and nice, and I'll be proud of it at the end of it. So rather than just turning the gun round, which is what I usually do with most of my games when I've got artillery, I bought a Perry limber. I think this is called the 4-horse galloping limber. Again, really straightforward to put together. The wheels go on the limber itself. That's really all there is on this. The gun then sits on a hook on there, and then it has the ammunition box just poked in the top. The gun is exactly the same as that gun, and these horses, they have a little ridge on the sort of side of them there, which you just stick the crossbeam of the limber on. Now, if I'm really clever, if I can be bothered, oops, I may just, I may see if I've got little bits of chain that I can link those horses together. The other 2 riders are here. I've just glued their riders on. I know some people don't do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I've done it for these. And I've left them unstuck on the base because I want to be able to get to the inside of the figure. But I didn't want to have this sort of rolling around all over the place. So that's what I've done. And they'll obviously go like that. Nice figures, again, really nice figures. Now, I think I need to do a little bit more research on the limbers, but my understanding is the guys that pulled the limbers, unlike the artillery, who will dark blue, these guys will grey uniforms. Now, it may be just the pictures I've seen are overalls, so I need to do a bit more research on that. Whoops, excuse me. But I'm very pleased to get that done. So basically that will be the limber for this battery. So whenever I'm deploying it, I use that and then swap it for that. So that's the theory. So we'll see how we get on. I'll report back in a bit. Okay, so a bit of update on the Cleve-Berg cannons. So take these guys off the base. So the cannon is largely done. It'll need a bit of dry brushing and highlighting, but I used, from what I can read, the Berg used French cannons. French were green, would work. So I've used this Goblin Green, which is quite a bright green. This one here, you can see it on the limber. But by the time I put a wash over it, and then when I varnish it, I think that's toned it down nicely to the right kind of colour, and used a bronzy coloured for the barrel. Again, with a wash over it, it's darkened it down. I think it's okay. Maybe a touch bright, maybe. I don't know. I'm starting to make up the base with a few bits of pebbles. I've also got a couple of spare wheels here, which will go on there to make it look nice. Gun crews themselves, just blocked out the basic colours so far. They wore blue uniforms, and red cuffs and things, as you can see here. So that's on the way. So the blue I used was Vallejo medium blue. Again, once that's got some wash on it, that'll darken down a little bit more. Skin tone is exactly the same again as I always do. The pale skin, I haven't done the over colour yet, and the red, just a red. So that's him. This guy's got a Shako cover on, so done that as an off-white colour. Don't know whether this is correct, but this is the gun officer. I just put white trousers on them because often officers have white trousers. I'll probably put a stripe down his leg because it seems the figure has a stripe. So that's that done. So I'm quite pleased with their progress. And on the limber, I've done the green to match. You see this hasn't been washed yet. The barrel also is the raw bronzy colour, hasn't been washed yet. The horses have just had their base colours done. What did I use for that? Can't remember now. I think it was this contrast wild wood, because I wanted a darker horse for these. And you can see here also the outriders horses are blocked out and the skin's basically started. So good progress. I should get these knocked out fairly quickly. But they're really nice figures, so I'm pleased with the progress so far. And the Perrys, of course, they're nice figures. Really nice job. So, back with the next stage. So there you go, that is the gun completed, and jolly pleased I am too with it. Yeah, these Perry figures paint up really, really nicely. I do like Perry metals particularly. I think they're absolutely awesome. So just a little bit close. There we go. Hopefully that's a bit clearer for you. The gun, I'm quite pleased with the colour in the end. It looks a little bit different in this light because it's obviously quite a powerful light I'm using on it. But I was when I first finished, I'd varnished it, washed it and varnished it, and then dry brushed it a little bit with just a light colour. I think I just used off-white in this case. I was a bit frustrated. It came out a little bit too sort of milky coloured almost, so I had to dull it down again with Agreth Earthshade. It wasn't the varnish that did it, it was the dry brush at the end. I think it just, I don't know, just didn't work properly. So the Agreth, I think, has just given it that earthy tone, which is what I wanted. So I'm quite pleased with how that's come out. The basing is, as you saw, the Charlie Foxtrot base. Set up for 5 crew. The Perry figures only give you 4, so there's an extra hole there, which I can use if I need to put 5 crew on. I can't remember how many crew are in a sharp practice battery, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The crews just done up as the foot artillery. They had, as you see, the solid blue uniforms. I took a little artistic liberties with the gun officer, put him in white trousers or off-white trousers because officers often wore white, and gave him the red stripe down the side, but the rest of the guys have got blue. Yeah, quite happy with how these have come out. Hope you like them. But as you know, it wasn't just the gun and the gun crew. I also got a bit extravagant and did the limber. I don't normally do limbers. Let me just pull out a little bit. I don't usually do limbers. They're a bit of a luxury. But since I wanted to make this Berg unit really effective and look good, I decided I would splash out on the limbers for it. And I'm pleased I have, because it looks really, really good. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be to do. You saw how I did it with the two horses here stuck down and made up with the gun crew. Or with the gun, sorry, the carriage, and then the two ridden horses I painted separately and then stuck on afterwards, just because then I could get to the inside of the horses properly and there was no problems there, and that worked really well. The riders obviously wear the grey. I used, I think I mentioned, I can't remember if I filmed the first bit quite a while ago, forgive me, but I used the Apothecary white contrast paint over the top of the light grey that I always paint as a primer, just to get that grey right. And I'm really pleased because it's come out really nicely. And then the cross belts and everything are pure white. This guy's got his shaker cover on, which is I think it was brain matter white, so sort of a yellowy white, which works nicely. The straps and everything were just red leather. The ropes on the horses and the padding, I think that was a sort of tan colour. Yeah, just really pleased with that. Looks really, really good, I think. Good, and the effect will be quite nice, I think, on the battlefield. So let's have a look at them side by side. And there you go, the gun plus its limber, ready to see action. Yeah, really pleased with this effect. As I mentioned before, there's only one gun, foot gun, in the Berg Brigade that I'm doing, so this is it, and I'm pleased with the effect of it. I think it's come out really nicely. So there's a horse gun which will go with the cavalry. I've decided I'll put it with the cavalry. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but that's what I'm going to do. Horse guns were designed to be with the cavalry after all, so that's what I'm going to use it for. Yeah, so this will give me some nice firepower to my Berg Brigade. Already done two battalions now afoot. I've done skirmishers that you've seen, obviously these two now, and pretty much finished on some officers, which is great. So next up I'm going to start on the Lancers, which is what got me into the doing this project in the first place, and then we'll go back to doing a few more infantry brigades by the time they have turned up. So yeah, pretty happy with how it's going, and I think the effect is going to look really good on the table. So hope you like it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And I hope your projects are going well, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe, and I will see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.